Hello, 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 hi. Welcome to another video. It's me, Camila Rose, and today we're going to be taking a look at the eclipse energy for the sign of Pisces. Hi Pisces, how's it going today? How has your month been? How has this eclipse kind of bubble been that we go through from the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse? This time we have our lunar eclipse that just happened in Libra, and now we'll be heading into the solar eclipse that'll be happening in Aries. So let's take a look at what the story is for you all with this energy. Okay? All right. So let's get our main card and see what we're looking at, see what we're working through. Three of Cups. I love that for you. Celebration, joy, fun, spending time with people that you love, coming together. That's a lovely card. All right, let's see what else we've got. Let's get to the meat of things, shall we? Oh, okay. So we have the, it's kind of sideways. I'll put it right side up, but it's kind of sideways. So we have the Hangman. Move this over just a little bit. We have the Hangman as your main card, your first card out. King of Swords and Judgment. So you may have been feeling a little stuck, but you're feeling unstuck. You're getting there if you're not already there. Part of that is taking this King of Swords approach or having a King of Swords show up for you. So creating some space, creating some light, creating some movement. You may be meditating a bit more or having someone who's inviting you in for a lot of meditation. They can see the big picture. And being able to see the big picture helps you to know what direction you need to be going in, the energy that you need to be putting into place. This also corresponds to, in an archetypal sense, the wise old man. That ability to be able to, in stressful situations, slow down, think things through, and find a response that will help you out of the situation. We also have the Judgment card, which is about new beginnings. So in being able to open up and allow in that space to allow yourself to think clearly, you find some of that room for a new beginning, for where to let go, for what to let go of in order to get the new beginning, in order to become unstuck, to get the enlightenment that comes from the Hangman being right side up. When the Hangman is, or in reverse, when the Hangman is right side up, it is needing to kind of change perspective, get a new idea, get a new way of seeing things. And when that happens, that brings you to a space where you know how to move forward, where you know where to go. We have the Star card in reverse here. You may have entered into a space where it's a new beginning based off of the release or the ending of a hope or a dream, the letting go of something from the past that you may have really wanted to move forward. It may be something tied to what your idea of happiness and joy, community, and celebration look like. You may have been really working towards a specific idea or specific vision of this, and you may just have had to let go of what that would look like or the need to control what that looks like. All right, so we have the Lovers, the Hierophant in reverse, the Nine of Wands, and then the Four of Cups. So we have a nice little progression starting to happen here from the 3 to the 4. The Lovers card, yes, this could be about a relationship. This could be about a literal relationship. Perhaps you are in a relationship with an air sign. We do have the King of Swords. We have the Star card, which is Aquarius energy here. But this could be you being the person who is kind of holding that energy. And in here we have the Star card in reverse. We have the Hierophant in reverse. A lot of this energy of kind of tradition, being turned on its head, a mentor, a seeker, a guide being turned on its head, perhaps a relationship coming to an end with someone who was very influential and be able to provide you with guidance or instruction. is being switched around, and maybe you're taking a little bit more of an unconventional route. Maybe instead of seeking traditional mediation, you may be going into a space where you're seeking some type of other form of assistance at this time. Part of that is we have this Nine of Wands here, which is a energy of kind of having taken on a lot of responsibilities. You have some big things you've been working towards, and in working towards those things on this path to the road to yourself, as you all know, my view of the Lovers is, yes, it can be partnership, but more so it is finding that path towards yourself, finding that path towards your home. And how do you go about that? Knowing who you are and the route that you'll take. Do you take the very practical, logical approach? Do you take a very intuitive, passionate approach? Do you take a very large scale, big vision approach to things? How is it that you come about this process of becoming who you are meant to be? And in that, which different habits or connections do you find yourself making that can lead you down the path to eventually meeting the devil, which is confronting perhaps some of those ways that you have developed connections that are not serving you any longer, or that are keeping you constrained, keeping you small. But it all starts with the Lovers. And so we have a 5, and then we move to the 6. So we have a 5 in reverse, pushing you to the 6th space. This room of perhaps the people who were your guides, perhaps they're working within the system. It just doesn't, it isn't putting you where you need to be. You shouldn't be relying upon other people, their vision, their scope of things. You have to find your own path. And in part of that is, yes, you've taken on a lot of responsibilities. You've taken on a big step and a big role towards things, but you're making your way and you're seeing the progress there. It is taking a lot of time and effort, and energy is something that may be wearing you down. And we have a new cup. We have a new offer coming in. We have those 3 cups from your main card sitting there at the ground, and you're looking back at the past and at things that could have been, things that, old connections, old friendships, how those worked out, how they maybe were not what you thought it would be, especially with the Star card coming in reverse and the Hangman. They left you in spaces where you felt stuck, where you felt like you had to find a new route forward, where you had to come back and be reborn. And now you're having another offer come in, another chance. So if this is about a relationship, and this is perhaps about a friendship or family, then this could be a new friend coming in, or a family member trying to make amends, something of that nature. If this is just about, in general, your connections, your creativity, or something of that nature, about finding the route that allows for you to be able to express yourself creatively, a new offer is coming in. Let's get what your next one is. There's the devil. Saw that one coming. There are a lot of cards that, even if they're not on the table, or if they're not out yet, they're here without needing to be here. When the Lovers shows up, the devil is not far away. If the devil shows up, the Lovers are not far away. They are connected together. They work together. One more. There we go. So now you go through this process of making your own choices, figuring out who you are, making your new connections, coming together in partnership and things of that nature. And now we have to take a look at what are these connections and how do they fare in the long run? Do they restrict you? And sometimes when you're relying upon an external mentor or guide or something of that nature, something outside of yourself, it can make you dependent. It can keep you stuck because your path is your path. You have to at some point take in all the knowledge of the things that you've learned and be able to create your own world, your own theories, your own understanding of what life needs to look like for yourself. And so as you continue along that path and you get these new offers that come in that allow for some expansion, some stability, some growth, you may find yourself making connections again that may be restricting or restraining. It's time to take a look at those things, especially when it comes to the idea of, now we're looking at a few things either within your body or within the finances. We have the 5 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. This is your, you've got a few 5s out here. You've got the Hierophant in reverse. You've got the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. So there's a lot of expansive energy here. There's a lot of the evens and the odds kind of coming together and rocking back and forth and trying to find a bit of balance here. We have with these 5s this idea of needing to expand, there's not a lot of stability showing up here. There's a lot of things being shifted and things being changed. So financially, you may have found yourself in connection, in a space, in relationship, in a partnership, in a job, where there wasn't a lot of room for growth, where you were asking for assistance and you weren't getting it. Again, Hierophant in reverse. The systems, the guides, the things were not working for you any longer. And because you were not finding the assistance you were needing when you were knocking on the door, you had to it pushes you. That is the growth of the 5. It pushes you to invest in yourself. It pushes you to look for new options. It pushes you to seek additional resources, new connections, break through the chains of the old ones and get new connections. Ace of Pentacles coming in brings in a nice 6, allows for that growth to happen, allows for that expansion to happen. You must invest in something new, in something different. And with that, there may be some conflict that comes from that. There's a push for creative growth as well. So not only are you being pushed to, whether this is looking at your health and saying that, hey, you've got to get on board with your health. You cannot be stagnant in the things that you've done, especially if your routine isn't really bringing you the outcome that you're wanting. Especially if maybe your health team is not answering or responding to your needs and your requests. Whether it's your daily habits and things like that, perhaps they have put you into a space where you feel stuck and you feel trapped. You feel like you're not getting your needs met. It's time to invest in something new. So there's a room and a need for expansion here. And so to perhaps get a little creative with things, to find a little friendly competition, something that pushes you to grow and pushes you to expand and pushes you to be more. Part of that will be about finding happiness and joy, getting back to this idea of celebration where life feels enjoyable, because it seems like the unspoken thing here is that life wasn't enjoyable. You were not having a lot of fun. There was a lot of disappointment. There was a lot of restriction. There was a lot of folks not responding or not working with you, and ending up feeling stuck, ending up feeling trapped. Hanged Man, the devil, needing a rebirth and a release of these old dreams, these old trappings, these old ideas, these old systems, in order to get back on track, in order to find your way back to this path. One more. Ooh, we love the Empress. Ooh, you got 2. Okay. And both in reverse. Interesting. And our Magician friend. And the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, so here's your outcome of all of this. Kind of the message, the purpose of this work and these things that have been coming up for you during this eclipse. We have the Ace of Swords. Perhaps you do not need a new idea. Perhaps you need an old idea, but you just need to be the one who actually does it. Not to say that you're not doing the work and things like that, but perhaps you were trying to do what other people were telling you to do with this idea. Perhaps other people were telling you, this is what you need to be investing your time and energy into. This is what you need to be working towards. These are what your goals should be. And if all those things are built up off of other people's or external society's expectations of what joy and happiness looks like, and not on your own, all it leads to is you feeling trapped, you feeling stuck, because you're never actually achieving all of those things, and you never feel the joy, you never feel the happiness. So perhaps it's not necessarily that your ideas or your desires or your dreams were wrong. It's just, were you living those out for yourself, or were you living those out based on other people? We have the Magician as the next card out as your first clarifier for the Ace of Swords in reverse. And the Magician is all about empowerment, self-empowerment, understanding that everything that you need, you already have within you. There's nothing external outside of you. 5 of Pentacles, that you need to be knocking on other people's door, trying to get them on board. You need to be on board. Are you on your own side? Or are you so busy trying to find this idea of what society is saying that you should be doing, what happiness looks like, what joy looks like, what balance looks like, what masculinity and femininity look like? There's so much going on in that conversation now about the divine masculine, divine feminine, and very small definitions of what these very big energies are. And even from a Jungian state, perspective, where Jung has very like definitive kind of squares around these ideas of the feminine and the masculine, the anima, the animus, and all these other things. It is even stated that as an archetype, any archetype cannot be projected onto another, cannot be held in one person. It is too big. And that is where the child archetype comes in, because the child is that third option, is that looking outside of the ways that have been presented to you, that's in that either or, that binary, and understanding that that is not the way forward. That the way forward is outside of the binary. It is the third option. It is the spectrum. And so getting yourself outside of this black-white binary thinking that says that it has to be either or, where you're trying to fit into these boxes, where you're listening so much to the mentors and the experts and the people who have gone before you, that you've not listened to yourself, and you found yourself trapped. You're being pushed to expand, pushed to move back to that creativity, pushed to move forward. And part of that is getting back to that space of the self. The Magician is associated with Mercury. It's a good like Martian energy. It's very good like expansive movement, fire-based, swift fire-based creativity, and Mercurius. It is this in between. It is non-binary. So it's outside of these spaces. And when you find that room for yourself that's outside of these expectations, these roles or these ideas or these archetypes that have been pushed upon you, you may find your own route. You may find your own space. And part of that is allowing yourself to move from the Magician to the Empress, where the Empress is a creator. The Empress is able to go within and to find that light, to find that spark, to find that fire, and then is able to grow from there. And it's an infinite well of growth. If we think of the Empress is very much so associated with Venus, so Taurus and Libra. And if we think of this Taurus energy, of this earthy energy, we often think of the groundedness of that, and of how the earth is able to grow and to continue to expand and to create new things. But when we even think of how that process works in the practical world, it is the light of the sun. It's again the fiery energy. It's the light of the sun that allows and brings the warmth. It is the currents. It is the molten middle part of the earth that actually pushes up through those tectonic plates and creates new earth. It is a balance between the light and matter that allows for these things to be made anew. And it's you finding that balance between these two, between the Magician and the Empress, between this fiery, smart, intuitive, crafty part of you that is a creator, and actually finding those things manifested in the real world, sitting on those ideas and letting them cook, letting them grow, letting them mature. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is saying, again, there's a lot of emphasis I feel here on not necessarily in the something new, something young, something undeveloped, but something that has needed time to mature. It is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It is not something that is using that fresh new energy of Pentacles. It is something that is understanding that this growth, this energy has been present for quite some time. And it's something that may be outside of the legacy. It's something that may be outside of what your family may have done, or what you may have thought would have been the thing that you were building and leaving behind. It is something outside of that. It is something that you may have thought, this is the way that I will implement and manifest this dream. I have this dream, I have this hope, I have this thing I want to create, I have this space that is my star, and I want to do that. I want to see that happen in a way that is tangible. I want to make this thing manifest. And it's, instead of it showing up in this way, or in the way that everyone is telling you that this should go, or even the ways that you have, without maybe realizing it, taken on these ideas of what this has to look like. To be an Empress, everyone says that an Empress is X, Y, and Z. Everyone says, I just listed it all off. What an Empress is, what a Magician is. And that's what everyone says. That's the agreed upon idea of what this is. And maybe that idea is not true for you. Maybe it is different for you. Maybe being an Empress looks more like being an emperor for you. Maybe being the magician looks more like being the high priestess for you. And maybe that is just something that you have to walk your own path in order to find where you have been trapped, to find where you have attached your own restraints in your life. And in order to do that, you have to release some of these trappings, some of these ideas in the ways they have been framed by other people, or that you have even allowed yourself to frame them, to allow new space to come in, to allow that new energy to revive them, and to see where it is that path can move forward. So that's your eclipse. That's the vision, that's the goal, that's the role of the eclipse. We have a lot of fire here, we have some earth here, we have a lot of space of kind of renewal and new things. We have a nice little mix, it seems, except for there's not as many cups. I would say there could probably be a couple of more cups, so maybe not the most emotional of spaces, but perhaps a nice balancing of all those things. Perhaps it is time for you to find the balance. Nice Libra, nice Aries energy. Okay, Pisces, that's going to be it for you. I love you. If you'd like a private reading, reach out to me. If you'd like assistance in working through some of this energy and getting in touch with your archetypes, being able to identify the energy that you are personally working with and how to craft your life for yourself, reach out. I'd love to work with you. All right, I'll see y'all later. I love you. Bye.